Hello and welcome everyone back to another Calvin Crypto video. I hope you guys are doing well. Today we are back with another banger Pulsechain video, giving you guys the latest and greatest of crypto news. And oh boy, I'm very excited for this video because I'm gonna give you guys my personal price predictions for where pWBTC and PDAI could go in 2025. We're not even talking about 2026, where the second altcoin season wave will most likely happen in Q1, which again, I believe it will be way higher than the first one, which we're going to see in 2025. But we're going to keep it within scope and talk about kind of the midterm for these two very bullish narratives within Pulsechain. And personally, I believe this is what makes Pulsechain truly unique, because there's dozens of layer one fork solutions of Ethereum, but we're first of our own kind, full system state copy of Ethereum that basically created this world's largest crypto airdrop. Right when we took a snapshot of Ethereum around 10th of May, it's a full system state Ethereum copy of Ethereum where all the tokens were cloned and their holders. So they received exactly what they're holding one-to-one from Ethereum now on PulseChain. So yes, technically, pHex is a PRC20 token. It is a clone of eHex, right? So are we going to see pHex repeat its history that it did in Ethereum in the previous bull run? Again, that's for another video. I'm very, very bullish on the Core 7. You guys already know. Pulse, PulseX, Hex, INC, eHex, PDAI, and pWBTC. Very, very simple. And obviously, there's other ecosystems that I'm also in to protect myself against ecosystem level risks, such as the PTG's ecosystem, Atropa ecosystem, and a bunch of others with meme coins. Like shout out to Pika, Inktoshi, and then you have Mog as well, and Hog, Hearts with Dog. All those bullish. Again, that's for a separate video. This is why you guys need to tune in, hit that subscribe button. There's a lot of bullish videos I'm going to talk about, but a reminder the people, because before we jump into the technical analysis and my price predictions, I want to talk about the good news. I want to give a congratulations to you guys, the believers who kept watching my videos, the believers who kept believing, who did not capitulate at these lows. Because unfortunately, the 90th percentile, 90% of people fall under this, which is what? Where people, they literally lose hope. They start thinking that, oh, Pulsechain is now a scam, or whatever project they're holding on that's down minus 90%. Oh, it's a scam. But they don't consider the macroeconomics. What's the market conditions that, oh yeah, ETH is doing absolutely bad. So you might as well call Ethereum a scam. Is it? It's not. But it looks like a scam. It literally looks like a rug pull. And that's crazy, because I have given this example to other people where I say, imagine now you have Richard Hart. You're going to go to people and say, I believe Richard Hart is one of the greatest crypto founders. You want to get what they're going to say? They're going to say, okay, show me his charts. And they're going to see the chart minus 90%. They're going to say, oh yeah, he's a scammer. Okay. Is he on a centralized exchange? Is Hex on a centralized exchange? No. Oh, most likely because it's a scam and I don't want it. If I can't buy it on on a centralized exchange, it's a scam. You know what I mean? Those type of herd behavior, guys. Okay. And you can't really blame them too much. The people that come from the stock market, they're retail investors, the people that don't have high risk tolerances. Okay. So they don't want to jump into something that has a high barrier for entry. And we're going to talk about that in a second. I made a tweet here. We can't blame those people. But I'm just going to say that people, they judge based on the price chart. Guys, they judge based on the price chart, not based on what Richard Hart talks about. Protecting, wanting to, reminding people the actual original mission of crypto, which is to eliminate the counterparty risk. He literally, guys, when Bitcoin.org was hacked, he was one of the first people, and he started a stream and he was warning people that, hey, this is hacked, be careful. And he's the one who talks about Ethereum. Guys, I honestly feel like Richard Hart cares more about Ethereum than Vitalik himself. He's warning us, or he's warning him about the marketing, that you need to do better marketing. He's warning him about how basically layer twos are basically vultures, and much more with Bitcoin. Like he's saying, okay, yeah, Bitcoin needs to get an update. Ethereum is of course what introduced the utility within crypto. Obviously, now you can't have stablecoins on Bitcoin. There's no anonymity within Bitcoin. It's all on Ethereum. For example, the Tornado Cash and privacy tools, etc., and zero knowledge tools. But, anyways, I'm just gonna say, like, people at the end of the day, guys, when prices are down, they're gonna say it's a scam. But when prices are up and you show them Richard Hart, oh yeah, this is his chart, where 10x above sacrifice rate, they say, yeah, I agree, he's probably the smartest crypto founder ever, even though his message will not change regardless of the price. But that's just how the world is. can't complain. You just have to live with it. Okay. So quick reminder. Here's an example actually, right? And you have this message, and I found this on Twitter. This guy says, "Bro, you're done. I sold all my PulseChain crap. F Richard Hart, total scam. Exactly what I told you guys, right? And this was, look, March, and it was a tough time. It was a tough time. But guess what? I guess personally for me, because I've been in PulseChain for since August of 2023, right? So I've seen the different phases, and it's the same every single time. Go look up Elliott wave theory, guys. Go look up a sine wave. It's cyclical, okay? It's the momentum shifts from bullish to bearish. Like there's no in betweens, guys. There's literally no in betweens. It literally goes like that. It's like a pendulum swing. It has to swing from side to side. We can't keep going up forever without a correction. We can't keep going down without a breakout, basically. You know what I mean? Like we know the global liquidity. We know there's a money printer. There's more money in the supply. There's more cash out there than ever. There's more people who wanna leverage their fiat currencies, right? And crypto provides a solution. It's a way. It's an instrument to allow people to work smart and not hard. Okay, and slowly people are gonna start figuring out how to use it. But of course, we have to acknowledge that it's the barrier for entry is quite high. But for people like you and I, seems quite easy. Oh, just get PulseX. Oh, just bridge from, bridge in Ethereum and swap. Boom. Like, buy whatever you want. But it is hard, guys. You have to recognize for the normal retail investor, for the normal, I don't know, institutional investor, or someone who has never really dabbled within, trading. It is harder, right? It's because they prefer a centralized exchange, and you cannot blame those people who prefer a centralized exchange. It is what it is. I think even Richard Hart hinted that we kind of do need a centralized exchange for PulseChain, but he also did hint that he might be making his own exchange. So there is a need there, and we shall see. But anyways, the guy continues to say crypto is dead to me. So crypto in general, you see what I mean? Like the macro market, when he saw how Ethereum is down, seemed like a scam to him. Like he genuinely thought Ethereum is a scam. Seems like it. Should try Forex. I made $78 last week on the Euro USD. Way easier. Got a side gig flipping labubus on eBay. Already up $50. Should have never listened to you, and you're blocked. Okay, so first of all, uh, good on you that you found a working formula, right? You're making $50, $78. That's absolutely fine. It is what it is. Again, crypto is a solo sport. I'm not going to blame this guy too much. You just have to recognize that his risk tolerance could not handle it. So this is why you have to really, guys, remember to diversify, protect yourself against chain level risks, protect yourself against ecosystem level risks. Hey, heck, protect yourself against general industry level risks. This is why you're, for example, holding gold. Okay, you're gonna hold some stocks, even though I don't really do that anymore. This is why you hold, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then PulseChain. Um, but then again, I say this when like 90% of my holdings are in PulseChain, right? But that's fine with me because this is my second bull run. I have that high risk tolerance, and I know that I'm only investing with risk capital. I can sleep like a baby, right? And at the same time, oh, I don't really have a crystal ball, but I believe in something, which is almost equal. So even during the absolutely red, bloody times in the past few months, I slept like a baby, guys. I knew what's coming. I knew we just hit global liquidity all-time high. I knew that we haven't even seen an altcoin season. So what am I stressing about? You understand what I'm saying? Like it's so obvious that we've been in this 4-year cycle. But yes, something to acknowledge that makes it, well, this time is different, but not really. It's not really different. Is that we've just been impeded. We've been in the longest bear market. That's the only thing that I can say that was different. But when the show starts, it starts, guys. It's gonna be nothing different. Okay. But also at the same time, be careful from people who say, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be the only bull run where things are gonna continuously keep going up with no corrections." No, this is not how it works. Okay. There's always going to be Elliott wave theory. There's going to be a motive phase, corrective phase, right? And the same thing with the global liquidity cycle, the debt cycle. It's all correlated together. So there's no such thing as up only or down only. So there's that. But anyways, just a reminder for people like him to, before you get yourself into something, and I really suggest this to everyone. So if you're new to PulseChain and you're watching this video, and as much as I sound very bullish in the core 7, for example, the Pulse, PulseX, Hex, INC, eHex, PDAI, and pWBTC, I believe in those heavily, heavily. Like half of those tokens, guys, I'm going to hold them for bull runs to come. Half of them, like PulseX, Hex, INC, eHex, like I'm going to hold them, guys. As much as I believe in them, you should come up with your own reasons as to why you believe in this. I really advocate for people to fully understand what they're getting themselves into, really learn it, and don't rush anything. The worst thing you could do is to rush a decision. Come up with a thesis, write stuff down. Okay, be like, okay, this is why I believe PulseX is pretty bullish. This is why I believe PulseChain is bullish. Like if you ask me, why do you think PulseChain is bullish? That's a great question. I think it's bullish because it's its first cycle. This is its first bull run. Yes, it was launched in 2023, but that was in the middle of the bear market, which I think is a great time because for people like me, who's not really a whale, it gave me more time to keep accumulating, right? From, for example, other money incomes and slowly accumulating my position where now it's a whale position. So I'm actually very grateful for that. And the fact that we are witnessing our first bull run, that means we have the greatest growth potential. I like Pulsechain because it represents freedom of speech, freedom of movement. I like Pulsechain because it's truly decentralized, with PulseX being a native DEX to Pulsechain, which is not the same thing that can be said with Uniswap. Uniswap is not a native DEX, and at the same time, Uniswap, the token itself, is not even deflationary. And guess what? DAI is not native to Ethereum, but now because we have a native PDAI, again, obviously this is very speculative, but we're going to talk about it. That is native to PulseChain because it was launched. It's the PRC20 clone, which is very, very bullish stuff. The same thing with PHEX. So anyways, we're going to talk about those topics in other videos, but just a reminder, right? Come up with your own reasons. Do research. Really believe in something. I want you guys to hold the stuff that you believe in, and yeah, just carry on learning, guys. Okay, I'm a student of life. Every single week, I try to learn new things. So before we jump into the price action in terms of P9 and pWBTC, where I think they will go, let's look at some market metrics here, macro side, that is really, really bullish. And this is a ETH BTC ratio. Now, we've seen this kind of keep on falling like an absolute rug, right? Until we hit back in bear market 2019 levels, and we did a nice strong bounce, again, clearly indicating that hammer candlestick. And usually, by the way, I think this is actually still a normal-ish timing because, of course, one of the unwritten laws of crypto is that the altcoin season starts post Bitcoin halving year. So obviously not in terms of the actual calendar, so 2024, 2025 is, you could kind of think of it as a 365-day counter from that specific day. So of course the previous halving for Bitcoin was 2024 April time, right? I think it was 19th maybe. So yeah, doing a 365-day time, timestamp, you can kind of see that we've just hit that mark, last month, and it's kind of perfect timing with the bounce. And it's similar here with the previous bull run. Obviously, the previous bull run, I think we started seeing a gain much sooner, but really the large wick up happened within the last few days before that 1 year mark. But this is really, really great news that we have kind of confirmed the bottom, fingers crossed, obviously. But keep in mind that we will see retests because, again, we can't, God candles that keep going up. Yes, they do happen, for example, here, and we're going to show you guys it did happen in pWBTC, but do expect there will be some retests. So if you see a 30% correction, don't think that it's over, okay? Watch my previous video. There's a clip from, I forgot his name again, but where he talked about the bananas, right? 3 bananas per bull run. So watch my previous video. It really talks about that. But yeah, usually I'm going to expect ETH BTC to top at around 0.8 to 0.1 ETH BTC ratio. And this is quite bullish actually, because let's say if Bitcoin goes to 200,000 and we are at 0.8, 0.8, sorry, 0.08, not 0.8, I need to correct that. ETH BTC ratio, that's going to get us to 16,000 price tag for Ethereum. Now, this is if Bitcoin goes to 200K, let's say Bitcoin goes to 160,000, which that's kind of my lower range for this top signal, right? Because I have to have a range, and I have some, basically if else statements. If Bitcoin is above 160K, I'm going to start taking profits per week, for example. What is taking profits per week? Now, obviously, this is where I've made tons of videos on my members exclusive videos, where I talked about, how I'm going to take, how I'm going to cash out. What does that actually even mean? How I'm going to turn that into passive income, etc. So you can become a YouTube member and have access to that. It's 5-part video series, and soon I am planning to work on a sixth part as well. But anyways, I was going to say 160,000 times 0.08. That would give us a 12,800 price Ethereum. So very, very bullish. That's almost like a 6x plus, really. And moving on to other stuff, it's crazy that I've posted this picture like on my Telegram, which by the way, link in description, go join it. Um, Way before this red candle even formed, like I was telling people that, hey, we are gonna see things get worse before they get better. Right, and it almost played out perfectly with a hammer candlestick right here, and then we're in within that arch. Hey guys, look at this. These are the price milestones I have using Fibonacci extensions. 7.7K would be the first milestone, walk in the park. 11K kind of would be, that first, top signal territory at, predict conservative type thing. 15,000 kind of aspirational. I don't think we could hit it, but I'm ready to anticipate for it, basically, right? But yeah, I'm very bullish on that, and it's crazy where we are today. Crypto can move very quick when that train starts moving. And then, yeah, moving on to other indicators that I really like to keep an eye on. And this is a great indicator that really showed me, hey, we actually never were in an altcoin season. Number one, because we were within that year of the Bitcoin. It's Bitcoin's year, right? So the previous 2 mini altcoin seasons, that was effectively just, it's mini altcoin seasons. It's not an official, like, all first wave, right? Because we haven't even reached, we didn't even break all-time high of the previous others total crypto market cap. So if you guys didn't know what is others total crypto market cap, is effectively excluding stablecoins. It's every token outside of the top 10 coin market cap listing or ranking, effectively, right? It's altcoins. So that's their definition of altcoins. So yeah, like we didn't even break all-time high from the last bull run, and we aren't even like, we didn't even reach the Fibonacci that I put down, which is around 1 trillion, which right now is at 272 billion total crypto market. We were so close to around half a billion, which is pretty cool. But again, that was not a real alt season, guys. So this is why in my head I'm like, yo, the show hasn't even started officially yet. Right? And we have seen thousands of exits in PulseChain in 2024. So I'm just gonna say this, like we've actually had bull run returns in PulseChain last year. Like it was a great year. Okay. So and I understand a lot of people who kind of, the majority of people who joined PulseChain kind of joined in November of last year. So you kind of missed the beginning, right? That first altcoin season wave, but that's absolutely fine. But guess what? Now that you know what from watching this video, that it's just beginning. Because again, the final indicator here that I keep an eye on a lot is the altcoin, sorry, is the Bitcoin dominance, right? We had, and usually again, I do this, post here, and it's actually quite accurate, guys. If you look at this, like 200 something days, it would fall like a falling knife, and that would indicate the starting of the altcoin season, because obviously Bitcoin's dominance falls, and all the, excluding top 10 CMC, and obviously Ethereum as well, would start raising in dominance, as in more cash flow is being inserted into those at a higher rate than Bitcoin, right? It doesn't necessarily mean the price of Bitcoin is falling down. It just means that it's not, the rate of growth is not matched as the other altcoins. And that's the whole point, because altcoins, they're a leverage of Bitcoin effectively. But yeah, you can see that, it's been very consistent where the first 200 something days, within the first 200 something days from the Bitcoin halving, we would see that falling knife, indicating the start of an altcoin season, and it would fall around that 40%, which is kind of my target for this bull one as well. But now, when I did this, and I ain't gonna lie to you guys, listen, I'll be very honest. End of last summer in 2024, right, when we had such a dead time in PulseChain, I was like, yo, we're gonna see the first wave like very, very soon. And I was expecting it to start, and I said we're gonna see the start of the altcoin season wave in like November, December, and it's gonna peak at March of this year. and I was really believing it. And guess what? Like it was kind of starting to play at, starting to go as planned when we started seeing this fall. But it was actually a false breakdown for Bitcoin dominance. Even though we've still seen a mini altcoin pump in that November December time, like it was still very successful. PDAI and pWBTC went up 30x's, guys, in a matter of a couple of weeks. We're gonna check that in a second, but it was not its time. So now you can imagine when it was a false breakdown for Bitcoin dominance, but we still seen a 30x. So what would happen when it really falls down? It's gonna be way more than a 30x, guys. I'm so excited for this. Like we are really in the best place. Pulsechain. I'm telling you guys, we are cycle one. This is our first bull run. So the highest rate of growth is this bull run. Okay, same thing with XRP. A lot of people, oh, they're so bullish on XRP, and don't get me wrong, like all power to you, hold it. But the best time to buy XRP was in that first cycle when it did a 600, 700x. Like it's no longer going to do a 600, 700x, guys. Okay, it's going to do like, I don't know, a 3x from a few dollars to 10, maybe. It might reach $10 double digit, maybe. We'll see. But I don't really watch XRP, to be fair, guys. Anyways, now moving on to a little bit of good news before we kind of jump into the price chart. And thank you very much for watching, by the way. Really big shout out to you guys. Thank you for tuning in. And the two highlighted comments here are from Blissed Out says, thanks for the good vibes, bro. Thank you very much for watching. And here from Monkey Magic says, always good to catch your take on the ecosystem. My absolute pleasure to make these videos. Anyways, here's a tweet that I made today that I want to show you guys. I believe in PulseChain. If you are here now and know about PulseChain, you're already winning. Majority of people will FOMO in, so fear of missing out, when the green candles are already happening. The barrier for entry is lowered, so that's when the centralized exchange listing effectively. There is less uncertainty, which just means there's less risk. And of course, that's a trade-off. You just have to decide that, right, based on your risk tolerances. Would you rather, okay, have a lower risk, then you're gonna have to expect lower profits, lower returns, lower gains, okay, lower rewards, etc. Basically, and same thing like with the green candles. That's the majority of people, guys. They only want to follow the green candles that are already happening. They do not want to buy something that's in a red candle, something that's low volume, something that's consolidating, something that's not being talked about. It doesn't make sense to them. Their their brain is not wired that way. Okay, so I'm telling you right now, really separate yourself from that herd behavior mentality, and you will win big. Okay, and this is exactly what I said. That's how you win big in crypto. Be an investor, not a trader. Believe in something. Okay, and of course, big shout out to the man above. You know, I've been trusting in the process. I've been trusting in God, and I really do feel blessed for being in PulseChain at this time. I feel blessed to be in PulseChain at the time that I found it. Obviously, I sacrificed in PulseX, and and back in 2023 when I started making videos, it was the best thing, guys. Honestly, it's quite clear that this is meant for me. It's quite clear that my purpose is to actually help make crypto more accessible to people, demystify the world of DeFi, and yeah. So I've been enjoying it, guys, and hope you have been as well. Give this video a like, comment down below. It helps boost this video in the YouTube algorithm, and yeah. So I just want to say here, you're almost there, Anon. Keep fighting. Um, and then this is now talking about PDAI. But before we quickly talk about PDAI, I just want to say a big shout out to Internet Money for giving us an update here. Now PulseX has an update where if you do ipfs.app.pulsex.com, it will give you the latest IPFS mirror link, which is very, very good, because I believe that's probably what Dex Screener is using now. Because now if I go here and I click trade with Pulse, it will literally open PulseX and you can connect your wallet all within that Dex screen. You don't even need to open another tab. That's bullishness. This is good. That's lowering the barrier for entry that I told you guys, right? Because we're reducing the number of clicks to reach the purchase, basically for them to make a trade. And that's good. The lower the clicks that's required, even though, yes, from 4 clicks to 3 clicks, that reduced it by 25%. That's huge. Okay, that is huge. Now imagine we reduce that from 3 clicks to 2 clicks. That's going to be even bigger, guys. I'm telling you. So, and in other news here, Richard, I'm not going to play the clip. but Richard Hart in that video that he said, he was basically talking about how everything's low in liquidity, and I told you guys before that this was part of his plan. He reduced the INC rate of inflation because he didn't want people to provide liquidity, because he knew that this phase, the next phase, is the growth phase, kind of that in that S curve of adoption. Go look it up. In that growth phase, which is an exponential growth, we need to be, if we have even less liquidity, that'll be even better because that means we can pump even higher heights with less capital required. And of course, by the time we probably reach those high prices, I don't know, $1 hex, 1 cent PulseX, you'll probably start incentivizing people to provide liquidity at those levels so we can sustain those price levels by reinstantiating the INC farms, right? So it is very, very cool stuff. And finally here from Decentralized Me makes a tweet about PDAI. But before we talk about this, I just want to show you guys that I created, and it's kind of an announcement here, that I created my first ever article, guys. And it's about PulseChain. And I made this because I decided that, again, this is kind of from what Richard has been saying, is, he wants to make the world a better place, and he believes that he has to be the change that he wants to see. And I just got tired of waiting on other, ulterior motive journalists, paid shills effectively, to write articles about us, only to get it mistaken, only to get the title to be misleading, that has, puts Richard Hart in a bad light, and saying that, oh, the SEC dismissed the case when actually Richard Hart beat the SEC, right? For example. So I just decided to start making my own articles, and the first article that I made is what is pWBTC on PulseChain, and I'm gonna leave this link in description. Go read it. This is a really great. It summarizes everything. It will answer all the concerns that people had in terms of, can pWBTC be minted, right? For example, compared to PDAI, for example, right? But PDAI now is unmintable completely because the P maker is dead, right? Which is good because now PDAI is technically fixed. But with pWBTC, doesn't need an oracle. Is it, can BitGo, which obviously owns WBTC in general, can they mint unlimited amount of WBTC? Can they pause transfers, even though, and I put a code snippet, even though in the contract it is a pausable token? So what's going on? Now, I'm not gonna kind of spoil the article, but a quick answer is that, and even, by the way, even Richard Hart in the Christmas video that he did back in 2023, he kind of talked negatively against pWBTC, and he said, "Oh, it has admin keys, so it's not really a good thing. They can do whatever they want." The only answer that I'm going to give in this video, and I'm probably going to make a separate video for reviewing this article, but you can read it now. You can share it with your friends. You can help other people understand the lore behind pWBTC by looking at the article link in description. It's just caldoncrypto.com, and then you'll see the article. It's the only one up there. I was going to say, the only thing I'm going to say now is that the admin keys is actually a multi-sig wallet. It is effectively a decentralized autonomous organization. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. So, I don't want to spoil it, but no, BitGo cannot mint pWBTC endlessly, and if it's an uninitiated request. So they can, if BitGo went rogue, they cannot mint pWBTC. Let me just say that. It is a decentralized autonomous organization. So read the whole article. I go in more depth about it. I even created these process flow diagrams to show how the process of minting and burning WBTC, and how pWBTC does not need an oracle. Guys, that's the whole point. Like, this is really, really good because technically oracles, and I saw this from a Twitter guy, and it's a very good point. Oracles are actually a single point of failures. Imagine you kill the lifeline of a token, which is like, for example, a stable coin, which is the oracle, it will literally collapse. So pWBTC and WBTC in general, they don't need an oracle. So that's really good. This is why I'm really bullish on this narrative, and obviously the fact that it's a unique narrative, never been done before, only possible on PulseChain because of the fact that we are a full system state copy of Ethereum. So go check out the article link in the description. Let me know what you guys think. Give me your honest feedback, any misspellings, whatever really is something you want me to add, whatever. Join my Telegram, give me your thoughts, or even comment it down below. You guys are amazing. And I hope to make more articles. Hopefully, I'm going to try to keep it on a weekly, maybe basis to create perhaps maybe two articles, one for crypto in general and then one for Pulsechain in general, so I can kind of get eyes from the general crypto market. And then now they're going to see the website and they're going to see, oh, I'm writing about Pulsechain. Oh, what is Pulsechain, etc. Right? So that's kind of a good tactic. Kind of attack the crypto market from the SEO side of things, not just from Twitter, not just from YouTube, for example. So there is that. And yeah, if going back to Decentralize Me here, it says PDAI has always been a tale of two halves, Maker and Maria. Each have taken a center stage at different times. Now it's Maria's time to shine. And what we're seeing is the development of a liquidity pool management strategy to get us to peg. But what does an LP strategy getting us towards peg looks like? Below is an overview of what we can expect from here. I love it. I love it. I love it. And then, by the way, he linked 9 Iron Capital. Big shout out to him. And he goes, that there's potential links to Maria getting paid. You can see that 15 to 20 million for kind of being part of the Hex community all the way back in 2021. Now, we all know it's no secret that Maria is a big fan of eHex, and he literally said, oh yeah, I bought 100 million last year in the PulseChain tour in Amsterdam when he talked in front of everyone, right? And Maria is doxxed, by the way, and he's a literal rocket scientist, so he knows actual moon math. So this is really good news. Like, again, it kind of brings those rumors up. Is Maria part of the Richard Hart team? It's unconfirmed, but that's kind of the rumors. Okay, it's very interesting. But this is the picture that Decentralized Me created here. Step 1, LPs are created between PDAI and assets with large amounts of liquidity. Pulse is heavy, PDAI is light, and that is very true. Right now, PDAI is lighter than ever, so it's actually easier for us to go back to all-time high and break new all-time highs with price discovery. And then step 2, the market. Bots and traders are incentivized to buy PDAI through burn rewards, staking yields, arbitrage opportunities. Okay, can PDAI now become a first stablecoin that doesn't require an oracle? That will make it even 10 times more decentralized. That's so crazy. The price of PDAI increases as the market begins to buy it up for their rewards. Step 4, as price rises, the effect of burn mechanisms becomes stronger and circulating supply begins to drop rapidly. Step 5, confidence builds more demand, stronger LPs. This becomes a self-reinforcing cycle. That's basically another way of saying the positive feedback loop. So yeah, that's very, very good. And then here it says, step 7, collateralize maker copy vaults and kick off the Hyperloop. Interesting. Very, very interesting. So I'm interested if Decentralized Me is going to make a video that talks more about this in detail. And of course, I'm keeping an eye on Maria's movements. I think he did recently add he did do a live stream. I haven't really been catching up to it. I think he was live streaming about Scientology and stuff. Um, guys, I ain't gonna lie to you. The language that he speaks sometimes is out of my out of my capabilities. You know what I mean? Out of my pay grade, basically. But I do feel like Mary is the right person to be running this, and that's the one thing I'm gonna say. You know what I mean? And just a quick reminder here, I made a tweet that talks about the pWBTC, EWC, and I said PulseChain is the first of its own kind. We already talked about this. I said here, Atropa ecosystem is one of the earliest ecosystems that stemmed to support PDAI's mission to $1. The docs dev who works for NASA, who worked past tense, he's a former employee, rumored to be hired by Richard Hart. So again, explained it just now. Where can Atropa reach? Now, I made a screenshot here. And again, the focus of this video is not really Atropa, but right now, the Atropa slash PDAI ratio is 33. So 33 to 1 PDAI. That means if PDAI goes to $1, Atropa as an effect through Hart's law will reach $33. Absolutely crazy. And right now we're at 5 cents. So we're only a 20x or a 19x away from reaching $1. So we will see, like, obviously, again, given the right market conditions, this is not financial advice. I'm not saying there's guaranteed returns, but we will see Atropa reach $1 way before PDAI, right? Which is very, very cool. Like, that's a really nice milestone. And yeah, like, PDAI recently has been having a nice pump. And so I said, Atropa is currently a 3.6x away from all-time high of 19 cents with a 19x to reach $1. PDAI is a current 22x away from all-time high of 3.4 cents. And yeah, so very, very exciting stuff. Now, finally to the part of the video, which is the technical analysis at today's price PDAI is 0.015. So if we quickly do a refresh on this app look into maxi.com, which is one of my favorite websites to go to, we are currently a 659x to $1, and pWBTC is currently a 300x to Bitcoin's parity. And yeah, so very, very exciting stuff. Now, looking at the chart, and this is something I've drawn ages before, right? And I'm going to stick to it. I've created this yellow box here that indicates where I potentially, kind of has this boundary of, the lower bound, higher bound, and in terms of date as well. With the earliest we could see this, possibly my latest, where I can expect this to happen. And we've kind of started to confirm the reversal, which is really, really good. And one of the things that I've done, which is through pattern recognition, going from the previous all-time lows, from all-time low to all-time low, it was coincidentally 233 days. So I created the second 233 day frame. What is the tool called? Date range. And yeah, it was kind of crazily lined up with that all-time low that happened here. Now, technically, let me put that back. Now, technically, there is an all-time low right here, which is a big red candle. This is when KT literally dumped the PDAI for Atropa. But would you say it counts as the all-time highs, the all-time lows there? But nonetheless, it gives us the general kind of confirmation that we have hit the all-time lows. Okay, because you can kind of see this, right? This is on logarithmic. You can kind of imagine a wave, right? There's two waves here. Okay, we go up, we correct. We go up, we correct. We go up, we correct. And of course, you guessed it. There's the next part to the story, which is go up. That's the Elliott wave theory. And you can see with every wave up, we had for example, this one, we did a 40x early of 2024. And then in later of 2024, we did a 26x. And then now, just literally purely using Fibonacci extensions. So again, using the Fibonacci tool and just putting it from here, all-time high, kind of bring it to the all-time low. You can kind of see which level did we hit. So for example, here, we hit the 3.16, the 3.61 level Fibonacci extension. And then I can confirm that making another Fibonacci extension down here. Now, I already have one there. It's kind of grayed out, but I'm going to show you guys for this video. And then once I put that from all-time high to all-time low, and see where did we hit again, it literally falls on the 3.618 level again, right? So again, 3.618 level. And for this one, from here down here, 3.618 level, which was, well, technically we hit just above that. We kind of did hit, yeah, we kind of did also hit the 4.2, that small wick up, but I'm going to keep at the 3.16 level. So now if you do the same thing again, so again, I already put it down here, but I'm going to just do that. I understand this can look a little bit messy right now, but bear with me. So you can see now the 3.618 level is at, actually, it's at 11 cents. But I made it a little bit conservative by putting the all-time low kind of roughly to here, not including this part right here, which does show a 361% or 3.16 Fibonacci level of roughly, yeah, it is actually the same. It's at 12 cents. So again, kind of looking at the previous, the one under it, the Fibonacci level under it is around 9 cents. This is why, guys, I do believe we could see the next leg up take us to obviously breaking all-time high to 9 to 12 cents PDAI, purely just based on Fibonacci extensions and pattern recognition. Now, in terms of time frame, I also, let me actually delete them now because it's kind of annoying. Let's do, again, just kind of looking at the date ranges from, the all-time high to all-time low and etc. I tried to, and you can kind of see that right here. I put those two arrows there. This is from all-time high to all-time high, which is around 204 days. And then the second wave was actually 245. So you can kind of guess it'll be between 204 to 245. It can happen anywhere in between. So this is exactly what I did here. 204 to 245. It creates this box, from kind of all-time high. So technically, I should put this up to roughly 9 cents. So technically, the box is here. Okay, this is my yellow box. This is where I believe PDAI could reach in 2025 from 9 to 12 cents. Okay, an absolute craziness. And do you know what's crazy, by the way? Do you know when we were at the all-time high of PDAI here? You know what the non-believers said? They literally said, "Oh, PDAI is only a 33x from $1." So I don't know what's the hype that people are giving it. It's only 33x anyways. It's so crazy because when I started making videos about PDAI, it was literally a 3,800x away from $1. So yeah, like I'm actually still up even at these all-time lows right here. I'm still up on my PDAI. So it's actually crazy. And they'll, again, we're gonna go through this again. There will be people hating on it, right? That's part of the being contrarian, and this is a good thing. We want people who don't like the narrative because we know that now we're contrarian, and the fact that we're contrarian, that means there's more gains to be made, right? Because if everyone is supporting PDAI, you'll kind of know, okay, that's kind of top signal territory, right? It's very obvious, like, okay, there is a correction to be that is due soon, and that's exactly what happened to us. We had that correction. Okay, so think about it. Keep that in mind. We are in it's a wave theory, guys. It goes up, comes down, corrects itself, goes up to higher highs, corrects itself to a higher low though, and then higher high, higher low. Keep that in mind. Now, moving on to pWBTC, one of my favorites as well. Um, it's a simpler chart. Again, I didn't want to make too much lines here, but you can kind of see the same thing. We've had a 94% correction. Let me just double check something. And now the leg up was a 30x. Then we had a 83% correction. The leg up was a 34x. Then we had a 95% correction. And then now are we going to see a 30x leg up, which would take us, just above all-time high. And technically, if we do move that, so kind of taking away the outliers, I guess, let's say, because obviously, by the way, it did get dragged down because of, sorry, PwC did get dragged down because of PDAI, because of their liquidity bonded, etc. Uh, but it's quite interesting to see, will we see a 10,000 price PwC in 2025? For a few reasons. Okay. Reason number one is because of the fact that we're actually going to go through our first official altcoin season wave in 2025. That's going to take us to even more influx of money. And it's going to be even crazier because I've seen a lot of tweets about Binance hinting at, listing. And it is very interesting, guys. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to lower the barrier for entry. A lot of people are going to jump in and they're going to be like, okay, what's the greatest narratives within Pulsechain? PWBC is going to be one of one of the main ones. It's just never been done before. Like, this is actually DeFi innovation. And remember, with every bull run is a DeFi season. Okay? Is it DeFi season? I'm so excited, guys. So anyways, obviously now a 30x from all-time low there would take us kind of to $3,000 something. But if we kind of disregard that initial PDAI dragging us down, you can kind of see that if we mark it there, and it's just a 30x, by the way. Okay, it's just a 30x. It would take us to that $10,000 mark, which, by the way, from 10,000 to like 100,000, that's just a 10x from there. Or from 10,000 to 90,000, that's a 9x. And you know what's crazy? Like the power of like Pulsechain. Look at this. From here, from November 4th all the way to the all-time high, we did that. We did a 19x in 25 days. That's almost 1x per day, guys. 19x in 25 days. That's almost 1x per day, back to back. Like doubling. You wake up, oh, I just double my money. You wake up, I'll just double my money. Double, 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 double for 20, oh, sorry, for almost like, roughly 20 days. Like, that's so sick. Welcome to Pulsechain, guys. This is the opportunities that you have. We are really on a gold mine, the PRC20 narrative. Literally on pulsechain.com. I'm not sure because he did update this. If I scroll down, I think they probably changed that. But in the description of what PulseChain is in the old website before I updated, he literally referred to the PRC20 narrative as the digital gold rush, guys. So listen, you guys heard it here. And by the way, like looking at the ratio, right now, one PWC is equal to 220,000 PDAI. So obviously, this used to be way lower. This used to be actually almost 1-to-1 with real Bitcoin. Like, we used to be like actual Bitcoin price, but now we went up again due to the whole PDAI thing, with the ratios being manipulated when we had a huge correction, right? We're kind of falling down here, and we're probably going to see it correct down to, maybe 150 or even 100K, whatever Bitcoin probably is. But just a reminder, if we hit, let's say if we hit 10 cents PDAI, and the price of, the ratio of PWBC right now, it does say it's 220,000, but let's say, okay, let's say the ratio stays the same. Let's say 220, 1, 2, 3. That would give us a PWBC price of 22,000. Okay. Now, again, this is expecting that the ratio stays the same, but you can kind of see that we are correcting. And let's say, okay, it will go down to 150K Bitcoin, which is a good milestone. So at 10 cent PDAI times, and by the way, I don't need to use a calculator for this, but it would take us to a $15,000 PWBC. And again, kind of vice versa, if it was 100,000, PDAI to PWBC ratio with a 10 cent price tag of PDAI, that would give us a 10,000 price tag for PWBC. So again, this is why it's a win-win for both. I'm so excited for this narrative. These two tokens, they probably don't need PWBC, I already confirmed in the article, it doesn't need an oracle, but with PDAI, this has never been done before. A stablecoin that doesn't require an oracle, that maybe only requires a PulseX router, which kind of is a synthetic oracle. I talked about this in the previous video about my PDAI's previous video. But guys, listen, I'm gonna end the video there. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, giving you guys kind of the general updates. I'm gonna make there's tons of bullish videos that I have in line as well. So read the article, link in the description, share it with people who don't know about the narrative, who don't know about PulseChain, because I also do talk about a little bit about PulseChain here. And yeah, like, give me your thoughts. Thank you very much for tuning in. You can become a YouTube member to support me. But aside from that, if you literally watched at the end of this video, that's more than enough to support me. And if you do want to learn more about crypto, if you are very new to crypto, I have a course link in the description, Learn Crypto, the Ultimate Guide. So it talks about the difference between Ethereum, Bitcoin, what is actual difficulty and a hash rate, what's the difference between V1, V2, V3 LPs, what's the different ERC20 standards with NFTs, inscriptions, tokens, etc. And there's another course here that I really urge everyone to watch, and it's the Complete Crypto and DeFi Security Guide, learning about the crypto operational security. Please be safe. Secure your crypto assets if you're planning to take crypto very seriously. If you're holding above $1,000 in crypto, you need to know about crypto operational security, and this course helps you with that. Now, because you're watching this video now, there is a code that gives you 50% discount, and that's literally Farmers Community 50. That will give you 50% discount, I believe, on all the courses as well. So thank you very much for tuning. You guys are absolutely amazing, and I'll catch you in the next video. And without further ado, big shout out to the man above, God. Trust in the process, trust in God. Guys, I'll catch you later. Take care.